Tim Vetter, from checkmyvote.org. Came with a very interesting slide presentation. Take it away, Tim.
All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
So let me just start off by saying, who am I, and by what authority do I have to talk to you today? I am a precinct delegate from Springfield Township, precinct number 7, and it's the people that elected me that I plan to talk to you here today about the concerns of our voters. So with that, I want to let you know my pronouns. I'm a Christian, I'm a husband, I'm a father, and I'm a grandfather of 10. Now, you're probably saying, Tim, pronouns? Those are not pronouns. Exactly. If you got that figured out, then you can figure out the bylaws of the MIGOP. So, my first slide is pretty simple. When Benson took office, she brought in Eric. Registration skyrocketed.
Oh my God.
You got any darts?
I want you to know that when I hit the pause, this is what was displayed. It was perfect. She wants you to know that voting twice is illegal. So for individuals who want fair elections, we agree with you, Dana. So what I'm about to show you on the following slides will be of interest. Now what I'm going to show you here is this is what a duplicate vote looks like. What I did, or what the researchers from have done, it's very simple. You look over all the voting records that you get from the Secretary of State. You combine a voter ID, that's the same. The election date is the same. You have a duplicate vote in that election. Very simple. We have another example. We have many, many examples of people voting twice. I don't want to say people voting twice. What's more accurately said? The data in the Secretary of State, that data shows that people are voting twice. Do we think that's the case? No. Here we have an example of a person votes in person all the time, but guess what? The first time he has a duplicate vote, it's an absentee vote. And they're pretty bold about it too. I got information from the Secretary of State. Anyone can FOIA their government. And in this example, they're seeing strange information in the voter files. I just showed you that example. This individual was wanting to know, why is my vote history location not accurate? And they're pointing out the voting history file just shows my current jurisdiction. But I voted here, here, and here, but it all says I voted there. Well, the answer says the voting history just shows your current jurisdiction, so I'm confirming. So the history does not show the jurisdiction of where I actually voted in prior years. And the Bureau of Election responds, no, it will just show the voter's current jurisdiction and then the dates of the elections that they voted in. Here's your example. Duplicate votes in the election. Ottawa County. This person actually voted in Oakland County. This is what they're doing to our voter files. Why would they do this? If I wanted to audit my past election, and I wanted to find out where people voted so I can match it up with the poll books, I can't do that. Because the data we're getting from the Secretary of State doesn't match the local data. It's real simple to figure that part out. They even add votes down the road. So here's a gentleman who voted. He has 3 votes in his vote history file. 3 months later, what do you know? Another absentee vote shows up. So I can't click this link, but there's a 1-minute video. Dana Nessel is saying, my office will prosecute to the fullest extent of the law anyone who intentionally violates our election laws. Here are the election laws that they're violating. Dana, I want you to do your job. Any data manipulation is a felony. Next one. I want 5 years per law accurately maintain vote history. Are they doing that? No. Over 1 million voters have manipulated data, or vote histories. I'm going to show Christina's slide here in a second. The last one, this data is supposed to be in the QVF within 7 days. This is all law. And also, Help America Vote Act. You're supposed to have one unique identifier. That's a voter ID. Well, guess what? Help America Vote Act doesn't apply here in Michigan. You got your voter ID from the Secretary of State. Your local voter ID is different. And by the way, it used to be the same. They changed this January of 2021.
Wow.
That's Jocelyn Benson. And then you go here, these are your daily absentee reports. We got 3 different voter IDs depending on which report and which source you get it from. This is how they're programming our election system. Christina Karama's voting record. I got permission from Christina, and I'm allowed to show this. Here's her scrubbed voter history. There are over 1 million voters, people just like Christina, who had this same situation. They completely wiped clean their vote history during this time period, 2020. Notice right here, now this has 2 types of fraud. This is scrubbed voting history, and this is called delayed voting history. So Christina voted in the 2020 election, in person, that's what I mean. Her vote did not show up in the voter rolls until over a year later. February of 2022 is when her in-person vote finally showed up. She's not alone. See all these numbers? We're still adding people to the voter rolls that voted in the November 2020 election.
Oh, no.
State, local, or federal,
Oh, my
or
God.
all?
Oh, yeah,
So Tim, I'm sorry.
yes.
So you're saying that as of 2023, and is it still 2024, or just as of December 1st, 2023, they were still adding voter histories from the 2020 election?
Yes, ma'am. As a matter of fact, I didn't update this yet, but I can show you more numbers from February 2024. Now, here's what the Secretary of State's going to tell you, and we have it in writing. Well, if the local clerks don't give us the information, then we can't display it in our voter rolls. So what this is basically showing you is they had the vote history in there. The Secretary of State removes it for, in this case, April through July, and then the vote history comes back. That's called data manipulation, and that's a felony.
Yeah, it is.
Dana, do your job.
Yeah.
She is.
Say it.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine you log into your bank account and all of your finances are missing. Wouldn't you be alarmed? Well, here we have a gentleman. His vote history went missing in July of 2023. He voted in the November 2022 election. He voted in person, and I keep watching him month by month. I mean, there's many other examples, but this gentleman apparently doesn't have his vote any longer. Now, I have contacted my local clerk, and I'm asking, what can you tell me about this? And the answer is, Tim, there's a lot of changes and chaos right now in the voter rolls. Please contact me after April, after they get things straightened out. I'm telling you this verbatim. Okay, so those are the voting laws. You have confidence in what our Secretary of State is doing with the voter laws and following them?
No.
Let's see how well they're following the bylaws. Now, Christina's group is following the bylaws. The problem we're having is there's this pesky small group of instigators who are not following the bylaws. I'm gonna make this real simple for you. I'm a math kind of guy, so I hear a lot about, what was most curious to me was, you had a small group of people who said they had quorum and that they were able to get rid of our chairperson, right? Has everyone heard that news?
Yes.
Have you also heard the news that they changed our bylaws?
Yep.
They had quorum to do that. Well, let's see what this quorum says in our bylaws. Now, if you go to our MIGOP website, you download the bylaws, right? You do a search on the word quorum, it comes up 9 times. Pretty simple. Well, let's find out what is a quorum. That's selection number 3. A quorum is the majority. So with 107 state committee members, 54 gives you a majority, okay? Basic math. Did everyone compute that and come up with the same? So we're all on the same page, right? There's this pesky blue part here. Let me read this to you. Except where the action of the committee requires a larger number than 54, specifically set forth in these bylaws. Okay, so let's find out what's in these bylaws. Quorum again, the second occurrence of it. What is the quorum for removing our chairperson? It says 75%. Is 75% greater than 50%?
Yes.
Everyone do the math. What's 75% of 107? 81. Does anyone disagree that the number is 81? No disagreement? There are those out there that would disagree with this. Basic math, people. They're trying to convince you that they meant quorum to remove our chairperson. And it's right here. Now, let's read that there's a pesky little statement in here. These 81 people must be in person and not by proxy. Did they have 81 committee members there to remove Christina? No. Let me hear you.
No!
All right.
Hell no.
It's that simple.
Hell no.
This is real simple stuff. All right, they changed our bylaws. Did you hear about that?
Yeah.
What?
All right, let's do basic math here. It says right here in our bylaws, you got to have 66.67%. I love this, 2 decimal place number here, right?
666.
By my math, by my math, that is 72 people. Does anyone dispute that number should be 72? Anyone have different mathematics going on here?
No.
All right.
Tim, when did they change that? When? When was that changed?
They tried to change that when they had their
December 2nd? No, January 6th.
January 6th.
January 6th, the state committee tried to change the bylaws to remove Christina with proxies.
So that happened then.
All right, well, hold on.
Proxy.
Did you hear that word proxy? That's a pesky word. Well, what does it say in the bylaws about proxies? Well, we got this number here. Did they have 72 people voting to change bylaws? No. Let me hear ya.
No!
And it says right here, and not by proxy.
The proxies could not vote.
No, not
All
to change
right?
bylaws.
So you must be present in person and not by proxy. All right? Did anyone, you know what? I'd like to change the bylaws, right? I can be one person out of 107. Well, actually, I'm not on the committee, so I don't have the authority to even do that. Yes?
One of the things they say is that it's the favorable vote of the committee present. Are you saying, because they're saying, well, we had this amount of the committee present, and we got the percentages based upon the committee, the number of people that were there, and that's what that's saying. So can you talk to that?
No, they're playing word games.
Well, I'm saying,
Yeah.
it says right there, favorable vote of the committee present. You're identifying the total number that all 107 people have to be present.
Yep.
Is that what the unhighlighted thing says?
It says right here
The committee present.
that you must be in person. You're a committee person, right?
As a member.
And you cannot send a proxy.
Line 2, sorry, line
Line
2 of that
two.
paragraph.
Favorable vote.
favorable vote of the committee present. What does that mean?
Okay, so what does this mean, committee present?
Majority of members and proxies. In that situation, you have to have only members, because it requires a higher number of members.
What she's asking
And
is
so-
different. It's a different. Let's say 60 people show up from the committee. Okay, forget it. Let's say 50 people. That's not enough. Let's say 50 people, state committee members show up. What she's asking is, it says, of the members present, is it a mincing of words where they're saying, well, we got it passed because it was the ones present, the 66% of the present.
Okay, can I
That's
have
what
that
we're
one?
asking.
I want that one. Okay. This is so simple, people. Remember, we passed the test when I first started talking about my pronouns, and you can understand English, right? What's this pesky word called a quorum? Remember what it says here? Provided there is a quorum present. Okay, let me back up a couple slides here.
It depends on the definition of the word is. There is a quorum. There is a quorum, because if there's not a quorum, as soon as, here's the best way, one of your own guys from Macomb, Grant Golisa, do you guys know Grant?
Yeah.
He explained it really well. He said that the moment the motion is made to do something which requires a supermajority, which is removing the chair or changing the bylaws, the moment that motion is made, those proxies have to be dismissed. At that point, quorum is lost. You no longer have a quorum. Now you have to have, to get those votes, they all have to be members.
So what the yellow point is saying is that quorum is always a majority of the total membership of the committee.
Yes, and then
what
you gotta
quorum
read
is.
this next sentence that defines a quorum, right? Except where, so they define what a quorum is, except where the action of the committee requires a larger number of members as specifically set forth in these bylaws.
Right, so in this situation here, you could qualify if they had 54 people who were all members.
Right.
So if they had 54 people members and only 74% voted to remove the chair, it would fail. If 75% of those 54 people who were present and voted to remove the chair, then they would
Do
work.
they know how many that was there that weren't part of the
Yeah,
committee?
good question. 45. There were 45 total people. 40 voted to remove, and 5 voted not to remove.
And of that 45, not everybody had paid their dues, so we don't even know if they
Yeah,
were
there's
legal.
a further issue there. That's right.
So legally speaking,
Yeah.
That's why
they
Brian
have
said I'm
to.
legally still the chair, even though the RC is trying to pressure logic their way to get rid of me. Yeah, that's what she said.
So they're just playing word games.
Okay, does everyone understand this part so that we can move on, right? Okay, so we have a small faction of people that are twisting the words of our bylaws in order to gain power. Are we going to allow that to happen? No! Thank you. So you have a choice. You have a choice. If you're a precinct delegate, you can honor the laws and the bylaws, or you can accept chaos. Have we had a lot of chaos? It's real simple. Follow the law. Follow the bylaw.
According to Nolan Finley, we're nothing but chaos.
We are. There's no doubt.
Well, I
Now,
looked
I
at
got a slide for that. Those are called lies.
that. Oh, he wouldn't do that, would he?
All right, I'm going to wrap this up quickly. So here we have a strategy on the left, and we have a strategy on the right. Pete, who's claiming to be the chairperson, here is his version of election integrity. I'll read it to you. Well, let me back up. Vance Patrick, who was trying to run for chair, he has absolutely no plan for election integrity. I read his blueprint, nothing. Remember, everything that's going on for election integrity, we need a defense. Getting out the vote is an offensive strategy. If you don't have a defensive strategy to stop the cheating, you're going to lose every time. Have we been losing elections?
Yes.
Because they're cheating, and there's many other reasons. All right, so let's look at Pete's strategy for election integrity. I'm going to read it to you. It's a small print right here. He's going to have a new committee to work with the National Convention Election Integrity Director, he doesn't have his own internal group, to execute EDO. EDO, Election Day Operations. That's the day of the election. That's not today. That's doing nothing between now and Election Day. They will identify issues that need to be addressed either politically or legally with the election integrity in Michigan. Does that sound like he's doing anything? No. I can't hear you. No. Thank you. I want to show you Phil O'Halloran's plan for election integrity. Look at this, 18 different committees. I know I scrubbed everything of these 3 letters, but look where we are. We're right here. I call ourselves the bullseye. I didn't say CMV though. I just did. Sorry. All right. We have a winning strategy I just showed you for election integrity and for getting out the vote, or you can choose losing. Pick a side. We have truth and we have lies. Pick a side. We have good and we have those evil people out there trying to overthrow what is good. Pick a side. Christina promotes the bottom up with us precinct delegates, the people, or we can choose tyranny, power, and big corporate dollars to continue doing what they're doing to us. Pick a side. What side are you on? Are you on side with Christina? Yeah! All right.